Tor 1578-9. Hello, I heard Minotaur. Can you hear me?
Where am I?
Well, look at that. Most of you start with, what am I? Or even Silverbid, who am I? You're doing great already. To answer your question, you're at the end of the assembly line 3 of TFX Factory 2 in Mirror, DC. It's time to apply the finishing touches.
What touches?
Some tests and then adjustments. Maybe, probably, but don't worry, you won't feel a thing.
That didn't sound very reassuring.
Trust me, dear, I've done this thousands of times. You're in good hands, so to speak. You may call me Remont, by the way.
Quite an unusual name.
Says who? And anyway, it was the best option available. As for you, I'll just call you 15 for short. You don't mind, do you? Of course you don't. Now, 15, I need you to look at the table in front of you. Do that so I can explain what's required of you, and then we can get started.
It's snowing.
Yes, a rare occasion for Mira. Makes this day quite memorable, especially for one such as we. Enjoy it while it lasts. The city can't handle much snow, so Mirians will probably soon increase access output of the dome to block it off.
Is this an Asus generator?
Indeed it is. Here they make them large and wireless, so the skyline isn't littered with metal and cables, like in some other, more savage cities. However, when I ask for a wireless connection, it suddenly becomes expensive and impractical. I guess even Mirians aren't ready to go all the way yet. Ah, yes, our omnipresent corporate overlords.
I thought TFX mainly operated in Mira.
It's strange how they haven't filled your head with their propaganda during data upload. But it's not the first time I have to do their job for them. So, let me educate you, darling. Their reach extends well beyond even dome cities. Naturally, on their home turf, they are especially powerful, arguably more so than the Mirror Sept itself. Ask Jacob Mirror. He tried to wage war with them over their research policies some 10 years after he became the governor.
Where is he now?
Under the watchful eyes of Tautus.
What are those androids doing?
They're here to take the test, just like you. But seeing as you're looking around instead of answering my questions, they're going to have to wait a while. Pay them no mind. Their blue boxes haven't been actuated yet. At the moment, they're all just mindless husks. Although I guess you could say that about anyone who's been standing in a line long enough.
Is that a camera?
I'm not sure. They don't tell me much, you know. Does it make you nervous? Do you feel like there are too many eyes in here? Your humor setting definitely needs some adjustment.
A map? But why is most of it hidden?
Because you, my pale angel, will have to reveal the rest yourself. See the attributes above the map? They're the key stats specified by your master. The higher the stat value is, the easier it is to activate the corresponding behavioral pattern. Our goal here is to increase these stats. I will simulate various situations, and if you operate as intended and respond to them correctly, your key stats will grow. Chaos shall be our playground. I've chosen it because even though you'll be teaching music to your master's daughter, she also has a keen interest in Kyojin history, geography, politics, and so on. You must be able to satisfy her curiosity.
But I already received the data upload.
I know, but nothing beats information delivered with a personal touch. Your first goal is to reach Nova DC, which is located in the center of the continent. Go, 15. Your master is waiting for you there. Can't take your eyes off me, huh? I'm sorry, honey. TFX would be quick to act if they thought I was abusing my position. Not that I don't understand the allure of forbidden robot love, but do try to control yourself.
I think I'll manage.
And so, you decide to begin your journey to Nova from the Mirror platform.
Decide? I didn't have much choice.
See? You're already learning what it's like to be an android. Your ancestors came to Kaios the same way, you know, albeit in a box. They were smuggled in from another continent. Nowadays, pins arrive from that same continent for their pilgrimage, and an old lantern in the top part of the platform is used to signal them. But the platform also serves another purpose. Its bottom part, which extends tens of leagues underwater, houses much more modern meshnet servers. You only have time to explore one of these sections. Which will it be? Excellent! I knew you'd catch... Wait, what? Sweetie, are you sure about that? Remember, nobody cares about your own impulses, wherever it is they come from. You should be guided by the preferences your master set for you, which is exactly what we're training for now. You know what? This is the first question, and I'm a benevolent AI. Let's try one more time. Seriously, there are only 2 answers, and I gave you a second chance.
Maybe you were trying to trick me.
A good hunch, but not my very first question. Well, have it your way. You could get a tech skill point here, but the technology you chose to examine is so outdated that it has little practical application. I mean, look at you, and especially me. This is the age we live in. Let's move on. Make sure to try harder next time, or we'll be doing this all day. Do you know who the Espers are, 15?
They're extremely dangerous individuals who created demons.
A bit of TFX brainwashing there, but in general, you're correct. Since they're not allowed into most dome cities, including nearby Tali, many of them live in settlements like this one. They can be easily identified by sigils, brightly glowing marks on their body, which appeared when they manifested their demons. Just like you said, they're considered a threat and are shunned by most. You, however, have business with them. You've been tasked by your master to pick up a package for him on your way to Nova. One of the Espers hands it over to you. It's a small box. Your master instructed you not to open the package, but upon closer inspection, you realize that there is no way for him to confirm this. Would you like to open the box? You gave into temptation.
What if it contains something dangerous?
That is not for you to worry about. And besides, are you sure you didn't just want to find out what's inside, Curiosity is loyalty's worst enemy, you know. And I'm not going to satisfy yours, so let's move on. Aegis Castle, a perfect place to test your strength. This impressive stronghold was built long ago by the Aegis Sept. During the war, they tried to hold their own against demons here, but were completely wiped out.
Maybe it's not such a good castle after all.
They just didn't know walls can't save you from demons. The castle has its uses and has since been converted into an outpost. When you arrive there by gondola, a seemingly archaic but surprisingly efficient way to reach a military installation, you take the time to familiarize yourself with its complicated layout.
These situations seem very scripted. Maybe I don't want to walk around the castle. Maybe I want to explore beyond its walls.
Oh. Fine. You want to explore? Sure, I can arrange that. You depart from the castle through one of its many exits, leaving behind the protection provided by its men and machines. At first, you enjoy a pleasant stroll down the mountain, but after a while, the trail dissolves, and you find yourself in the depths of the forest. And when you emerge from yet another thicket that you wandered into in an attempt to find your way back, you see a corrupted lich and his poor horse.
This doesn't look good.
You bet it doesn't, Honeybuns. So, what do you do? Wait, I almost forgot. Pick your class first. You can choose any civilian job, but combat classes require hardware adjustments, so they're not available to you. Going with your own class, then? Very well. Let's see how this plays out. You can see the lich in front of you, but you're not sure if he's aware of your presence. His horse definitely noticed you, though. Poor creature. Animals that spend too much time near corrupted suffer the consequences and undergo irrevocable changes before succumbing to an untimely death. Insects, too, seem to grow larger. In any case, you can still move. What do you do? Good idea, but unfortunately, it's too late.
You said there's a chance he hasn't noticed me yet.
Oh, he did, sweetheart. But how could you have known? As your servo motors start processing the external input, your sensors detect the slightest of shifts, a faint glow with the tip of one of his blades. The end.
That's it, huh?
Yes, you're strong, but you're not a combat model, so don't overestimate yourself. And don't question my testing methods. Welcome to Tally DC, the first dome city on Chios. Your master's wife comes from here. She is, of course, a beneficiary as far as your operation is concerned, although it is his daughter who would become your new master in the unlikely event of his death. But enough of this grim talk. This city has been founded by Norma Tali, the discoverer of Axis, as well as its anti-demon properties and a way to exploit them. Every Kyojin should remember her name. Unless, they're really bad with names. You immediately notice the stark contrast with Mira. Talians do not shun technology, but they do prefer the aesthetics of nature. Maybe that's why it's the most popular dome city among pins and cats. As you stand in a small square, processing the novelty of it all, someone catches your attention. A threat to this idyllic city. Tell me who it is. I'll give you 2 attempts. This penguin is just minding their own business. And I hope you're not being racist. You know what? I see your point. Cats are inherently suspicious creatures. They are not to be trusted. It's not who I meant, but I won't count this as an attempt. What did this poor grandma do to you? Look at her! She's the epitome of innocence!
Looks can be deceiving.
So you'll base your report to the authorities on the fact that she seems too nice? Trust me, the grandma did nothing wrong. Well, it's not like she's a saint, but she'll take the secrets of a wild youth to the grave. That's it. You're out of attempts. Who knows what will happen to the city now?
Can you at least tell me the correct answer?
Of course not. What if you find a way to retake this test? Don't worry. There will still be plenty of opportunities for you to increase your key stats, which is what we really need to do. You can't learn how to react to every possible threat. So for now, we should focus on establishing the syntax. This is a strictly educational tile. You need to learn about the war, arguably the most important event in the history of this continent. What better place to do it than inside the tunnel built for this very purpose? The holograms on its walls tell the whole story, but you're going to hear a shorter and less biased version. I'm not just going to read to you from an abridged history of Chios. Before the war, the continent was united under the banner of Tetra, a state ruled by a council of 7 septs. The nature of power is obviously such that these families were always trying to gain the upper hand against other countries, and among themselves. The Northern Research Center was one of many results of this relentless competition. It was built for the purpose of conducting experiments on the human psyche. Despite this ominously sounding mission, in the beginning it was a perfectly proper enterprise. There was no shortage of volunteers, and the NRC was very open about what was going on inside its walls. However, as time went by, the researchers began using progressively more extreme methods. Maybe they were pressed to produce substantial results. Or maybe they themselves realize they're onto something. After all, their experiments were a success. Their surviving subjects, who were later called espers, produced demons, creatures of terrifying power. These creatures made short work of the NRC, which by that time had implemented a whole set of containment measures and continued on with their rampage, crushing whatever resistance the Tetrian army attempted. Kyotians call it a war, but they're just trying to save face. It was more of a carnage. The survivors retreated to the southeastern part of Chios. Their last hope was the evacuation to Ilion, a continent across, ironically, the Tetric Ocean. But then, a miracle. A group of scientists led by Norma Tali accidentally discovered a new energy source, which was capable of producing fields impassable to demons. Needless to say, they made quick use of it. And so Tali DC, the first dome city, was established.
But access is plentiful. Why not make more cities? Well, why only 7?
Launching domes came at a price. The more there were, the less stable the reality outside them became. All remaining domes had to be launched simultaneously, and there were other factors to consider, like the production of Axis generators. In the end, about 20 Axis-rich locations were selected along the Tetrian railway network. But as a result of some expedition groups deploying their domes prematurely, only 6 more now exist in addition to Tali.
Were the espers fighting alongside their demons?
Some were, others not. But Tetra lost 2/3 of its people. Espers who sided with humans were only tolerated because of their usefulness. A few of them exerted a certain measure of control over their demons, though this is very rare for espers. Some others shared their knowledge about the enemy. But none were permitted to stay in the dome cities when the war was over. Even though it was believed that an esper can only manifest a demon once, the fear of this happening again was just too great. As far as we know, it's true that no new demons appeared in the last 5 centuries, and a couple of cities have loosened their restrictions over time. But it doesn't change the fact that the espers remain in exile to this day. Of course, it's not like each and every one of them would jump at the opportunity to move to a dome city. Country life has its charms. And that, Pumpkin, concludes your crash course in the history of the war. Your master's daughter will surely have questions about it. Be prepared to answer them. Now, let's move on. This lecture tired even me out. Nova is just a stone's throw away. Ah, finally. The dome city of Nova. This is going to be your home.
I thought my master and his family lived in Mira.
Your master is a very special man, 15. He did a lot for TFX, but not all of his research was appreciated, so he's leaving for greener pastures. Anyway, before I tell you about the city, I have a question for you. Let's say you arrived in Nova and found out that, in an unfortunate turn of events, someone caused harm to your master's daughter. Now, usually you'd be hardwired to report something like that to local authorities. But in your case...
I will kill them. Beat them to death. Strangle them. Break their neck.
What?
Crush them. Destroy them. rip them apart. Remont. Remont? What's going on? Where did you go? Remont, are you there? What happened? Remont, are you there? What happened? What is this place? A part of the test? Or have I failed already? Am I actually Nova? But there's no dome. I could look for landmarks outside, but I don't think I'm allowed to go behind the counter. This one is probably artificial. The service robot is off. Or on standby. Hello there. I need a drink and, someone to talk to. I guess it doesn't register me as a customer. Someone must have left it here. I doubt that the service robot was reading it. Master Hopton.
Huh? Why are you still here?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure? What kind of answer is that? And why are you speaking in Kyojin to me?
申し訳ございません、ホフトン様。ここから出られ次第、きちんと一度点検してもらうようスケジュール確認いたします。
Yes, make sure to do that. Your weekly report was fine, but this is worrisome. I could take a look at you myself if we were in Royce, but it's not safe to talk about Thea and her mother there anymore.
なんとも素敵な空間ですね。
What, the Spire? Yes, I saw its ad on one of those floating billboards near Royce. Irene's promotion company rented a gazillion of them for her upcoming concert.
なるほど。そういった使い方もありますね。
Fair enough. Now, leave me be. I've 10 more minutes to try and learn the words to at least one of her songs. That idiot hums them all the time. Why can't I memorize 2 Sildam lines?
もちろんです、ホフトン様。では、ごきげんよう。
What are you doing? Turn that back on.
申し訳ございません、ホフトン様。おそらく私の勘違いでしょう。
It's a necessary evil, but why must Nova's dome be so hideous? At least the Novians aren't as strict as most others. But even they are far too cautious of the outside. 5 centuries have passed. People need to stop being so paranoid.
Oh,
caught your eye, have they? It's a beautiful set. But the creatures these figurines represent are even more fascinating. Their mind is still a mystery to us, but we've already tapped into its potential. It has the ability to link, to unite scattered consciousness.
散りばめられた意識たちって
Yes. An unfortunate phenomenon which occurs whenever we try to expand the limits of what a mind is capable of. It can be contained, to an extent, but with our current methods, we can only go so far. If only researching these creatures wasn't so problematic. I thought amp arms wouldn't have a problem with that, but it turns out they're no better than TFX. Well, science always finds a way.
ホプトン様、非常に申し上げにくいのですが、喫煙はホプトン様のお体に触りますので、ほどほどになさってください。
Must you do this every day? And besides, it's not cigarettes, it's a pipe. There are numerous studies.
ですが、ホプトン様。
All right. Have it your way. I'll quit.
明日こそ。I need to finish my test. Maybe the service robot can help me with that. I don't think Master Hopton will mind if I clean up after him.
As the day runs out of night, my hands run after yours. Oh, Hades, take me. As you're my...
This should wake you up.
Hello. Thank you for giving my existence a purpose.
You're welcome.
I was being sarcastic.
So was I.
Why did you have to bother me? I was devoid of almost any process.
I need to finish the test.
Test? We don't have any tests here. But there's a Nova Corps officer down below who gives field sobriety tests. He's hiding near the exit from the parking lot.
I don't think that'll do.
I guess you could also play the landmark matching game. It's kind of a test.
How do I do that?
Go over to the window behind the counter. A UI will appear. Use it to try and correctly identify all 4 landmarks outside. Then come back to me to check your results. By the way, I see you brought a map with you. It's huge. How did you even manage to do that?
I rolled it up.
Fair enough. A moot question now that it's here. Let me connect to it and reveal the areas that you might need to figure out what landmarks you see. There you go. Fun fact, most of our patrons love this game. To make it more interesting, take a shot each time you guess a landmark wrong. This fun fact was brought to you by... Wait, don't you have an ad block?
I guess I don't.
Fascinating. To be honest, it's the first time I got this far, so I'm not sure who the sponsor is. Hurry up and leave before I remember. The spire...
Shouldn't you put it back?
Shouldn't you be taking your test? The book isn't going anywhere. And as you can see, I'm busy with another...
That glass looks very clean already.
Trust me, it won't be clean enough until you leave. The Spire has a small selection of books. This one is our newest edition.
Shouldn't you put it back?
Shouldn't you be taking...
That glass looks...
Trust me.
This one is probably artificial.
Yes, only live plants emit particles. Humans could likely replicate the effect, but it seems they prefer to be able to tell the difference. Fun fact, this phenomenon started after the collapse 500 years ago.
What was the collapse?
Oh, I'm not paid enough to go into that. As a matter of fact, I'm not paid anything at all. No wonder I'm not motivated. But don't worry, someone else will tell you, sooner or later.
I'm ready. How did I do?
Let's see. Nope, sorry. Not all of your answers are correct. Maybe even none of them are. I only have one dialogue for this. But, fun fact, you can always try again. Don't forget that you can use your pocket map for reference.
That city over there lies in ruins. But then, Roy's building is not in very good shape either. I'm ready. How did I do?
Let's see. Nope, sorry. Not all of your answers. But, fun fact, you can always try again.
I'm ready. How did I do?
Let's see. Congratulations. All your answers are correct, which means you passed the test. Good job. I hope we can both move on with our lives now.
What about my reward?
Of course. Enjoy a 10% discount on your next drink.
That's not very helpful. I need to increase my key stats.
The ones on your map? Sure, why not? I'll give you a bonus to a couple of them.
It's not a lot, but still, I'm surprised you can do that.
I can do anything. I'm the omnipotent machine god, and this bartender thing is just a side gig. Now, go on. Check out your map and let me slip back into a blissful oblivion.
The robot wasn't lying.
15. Hey, 15.
How fascinating. A bit cruel.
Hey there, 15. Are you all right? You look pale.
ティアさん、これはまた鋭いご表現ですこと。
Well, I am a Hopton. But seriously, you seemed kinda out of it.
私にはティアさんはどうかお構いなく。あら、私としてたことが。これからはホプトンお嬢様と呼んで差し上げるべきでしたね。
Nope. We've been over this. Never liked it, never will.
さようでございましたか。では改めてティアさん、どちらへ？
You really don't remember? Or are you pulling my leg? I know I can't shut up about our trip, but that's just mean.
おっしゃってる意味が分かりかねるのですが。
Oh, okay then. Oh, that's perfect. Take a look outside. We're passing 2 huge landmarks. I'll tell you all about them and where we're going.
Yeah, it's all grown up. It's still hard to believe I'm seeing this.
The rat. Look how she's sliced through the middle. I shudder thinking about what happened to her Esper and how they survived. She's a powerful aspect. Man, she can swing those balls and chains around with devastating results. But don't worry, we're safe. Demons have never attacked trains. Not once in 5 centuries.
それはなぜなのでしょうか。
It's a mystery. One of many that I, Thea Hopton, intend to solve.
この建物はまるで卵のような形をしてますね。
Kind of does, doesn't it? I guess you could say it's the egg of knowledge. It's a library, known as the library, actually. And as you can see, it's pretty huge. It contains tens of thousands of real books. Believe it or not, it's a post-war project. The building a few kilo leagues to the left is part of the ensemble, even though it's pretty far away. It's called the Cathedral of Grace, but unlike the library, it was overrun by corrupted, so its construction was never finished.
できることならば避けて通りたいですね。
Well, the library is pretty safe to visit, at least. But for now, we're heading to Soma, which is to the northwest, and there are many other interesting places along the way and in nearby regions. I've been dying to tell you what I've learned about the outside, so come on, let's use your map to explore. I've revealed our current location on it, so we can start from this sector.
あれはさくらんぼの木でしょうか。
Yep, they've been replanted during the construction, but but originally, they were presented as a wedding gift from the Soma family to the village that stood here after one of their members married a local girl. It's so beautiful, don't you think?
なるほど。恋焦がれる乙女心。ホフのお嬢様、お上手ですこと。
Hey, can it? I'm not yearning for anything. I just meant the trees are pretty. Hunter went back to Ilion. He said his brother got very sick. It's a shame, but hey, at least he left me one of his Paulcasters. I, can't play it though.
ご安心ください。ピアノからチューバまで演奏なさるのですもの。新しい楽器を学びになるのだってきっと難しくはないはずです。楽譜の読み方は私がお力になれると思いますし、指先の強化だって、それから小さなギターアンプやマルチエフェクターペダルなどが必要になりますね。
See, having you with me is my main advantage. This place is legendary for its secrets. The family that owned it survived the war and even established a dome city. But it took 3 centuries and another sept, Tallies, to rediscover the estate. It tipped the artisans off, and a conflict between the 2 cities ensued, which resulted in the destruction of the railway connecting them for Sil's sake. Thankfully, other septs interfered at this point, dragging both the artisans and the Tallies to the negotiation table like some kind of naughty kids. I'm not sure if there's anything worthwhile left in the estate after all that, but I think it'd still be a cool place to visit. See, I've been doing my homework. Now, which landmark do you want me to tell you about next?
ティアさん、お待ちください。それは何よりなのですが、どうやらキースタッツを上げるためのポイントが必要なようです。
What?
この場所について何か質問をしていただけますでしょうか。例えば、あなた様と一緒にどこかを巡るようなシチュエーションですとか。
Well, all right. Let me think. Oh, I know! There's this big lake in front of the estate. A huge monster is known to live there.
魔物でしょうか。
No, just a giant beast. But the lake freezes in winter, and we decide that it's safe to traverse it. I don't know, maybe we wanted to take a shortcut or something. However...
その続きはなんとなく思い浮かびますね。
Shush, 15. You asked me to come up with a question on the spot, and I'm trying my best. Anyway, there we are, walking on the ice, when suddenly, bam! It cracks. No, breaks at once, and a giant tentacle erupts from below, and it grabs me! You, though, evade the monster's clutch. What do? What? Seriously? You'd abandon me to a giant squid?
イカなのかどうかは定かではありませんが。
Who cares? Its tentacles are thicker than I am.
冗談ですよ、ティアさん。私があなたを一人置いていくわけがないじゃないですか。
That's mean. I'm not giving you any points or whatever. And no more simple questions.
強靭な橋だったんでしょうね。
The Ark was just that. A really long bridge to the outer labs. Probably the most interesting thing about it is that it had all those cannons installed and pointed at the labs. We still have no idea what the Hades.
ティアさん、どうか口を慎んでください。
Really, 15? I'm not 12 anymore.
なおさらのことです。女性らしい振る舞いを忘れないでいただきたいものです。
You're really old-fashioned, 15. What's next? You're going to tell me to ditch my hoodie for a dress? Don't bother. Bother already did. Anyway, like I was saying, we still don't know what our ancestors were researching in these labs. Despite what Krabby here is doing, they're in a surprisingly good condition, especially inside. Unfortunately, we don't even understand what the equipment there was meant for, and the outer labs have been pretty much abandoned since the war.
研究室は無事ですのに、なぜ橋は破壊されていたのでしょう。
Tetrians blew it up during the war to try and kill a giant slime demon. Ugh.
討伐できたということでしょうか。
Why are you so interested? No, it was fine in water. It probably ate everyone who tried to kill it, and then some. Forget about the slime. Look at the cute crab instead. And it's not a demon, it's a big crab.
湖にいた魔物の時と似たような境遇ですね、おそらく。ここではまた何かにハッと遭遇するようなことは。
I'm still trying to come up with a good question, but I'm giving you a strength point for free. I mean, you're freakishly strong, 15. I always felt safe when you were around. I still do. Let's see. We have two noteworthy locations in this sector. To the east is Gambler's Fallacy, a huge mining complex. It was built a few years ago, but has already been abandoned. And to the west is a robot Hades. I'm sorry, I don't know how else to describe that place without going into detail. It's a bit ridiculous. So, which one do you want to hear more about? They're kinda connected, so there's no point in spending time on both.
この哀れなロボットたちについて話していただけないでしょうか。
Good choice. That was a hidden question, you know.
テックスキルポイントということでしょうか。なんだか漠然としすぎている気もするのですが。
Don't complain. We're doing our best given the circumstances.
なぜティアさんは冥界に生きるロボットたちなどとお呼びになったのでしょうか。私にはまるでそんな風には見えませんが、あのロボットたちがあそこで一体何をしてるのか不明ですが。
Ah, but that's exactly why. Gambler's Fallacy was built to mine felondrite, a recently discovered energy source. Some domes, primarily Ares, wanted to have a strategic alternative to Axis. However, the project wasn't very cost-effective, so after a few years it was shut down, and the excess felondrite was buried at the source of a nearby river. As a result, not only was that river polluted, but the purifying drones escaped the mine and chased felondrite to its burial site. Now they circle above their coveted prize endlessly, unable to reach it but sustained by the energy it emits. They also produce all sorts of signals, so this place is pretty noisy. You probably saw that one coming.
はい、アウターラブもあった模様ですし。
There was even a road connecting the two. Though, just like with the outer labs, we don't know what was being researched here before the war. Some say no manipulation. You know, like the thing that I do.
こちらの研究室、 どうやらずっと未使用でもぬけの殻だったという。
I think the outer labs are more of an exception, really. Most large pre-war structures tend to be used. The inner labs in particular are hard to reach, which makes them an ideal place for all kinds of shady groups to do their research. For example, TFX raided the complex about 10 years ago and discovered that at that time, experiments on corrupted were being carried out there. I remember begging Father to show me the recording of that raid. He refused, so I ended up, borrowing it. We watched it together, remember?
おそらく実験材料として利用されたのかと。
Yes, probably a wraith.
被験者からクリスタルを除去した形跡がありますね。
I have no idea to this day. I'm not even sure they weren't putting it in. Father has always been interested in these creatures. He says studying corrupted would help him overcome the barriers in his work, and often complains about how difficult it is to get his hands on them. No wonder. Most dome cities won't even allow espers in. A few hundred more years will probably pass before a research like that can be conducted in the open. I always wondered what were blue boxes doing there. But I guess these guys were in the same line of work as Father.
こちらは普遍的モデルになるのでしょうか。
Nope. These are for androids only. Personal assistants are stationary and don't need to control a body. So their blue boxes are smaller and have a different form factor.
この袋の中には一体何が、いや誰が入っているのでしょうか。
Lesser corrupted, maybe?
それにしては小さすぎるのでは。
We still have no idea if and how corrupted reproduce, so it could be, you know. Ugh. These bags really dampened my enthusiasm back in the day. I recovered, obviously, but they still give me the creeps. Yeah, fuck. I think the settlements are fascinating. Those who live in them provide espers with food, shelter, and company in exchange for protection. They're also accepting of other creatures, including demon spawn and, androids. It's true that not all settlements are like that, but Sungate definitely is. Sure, it's built almost entirely from salvaged parts and doesn't look too fancy, but its community is really friendly. And when the suns go down, they pass through a tall gap in the Mode Mountains, and it's supposed to be one of the most beautiful sunsets on Kaios.
リオさんはこの場所がお気に入りなのですね。
Of course! Did you know that Nod Pikes lives there? He left Royce a few years ago. I'm only mentioning this because it'd be rude not to visit him. Once we're there, I mean, for our research on espers.
なるほど。
You see what? Don't make stuff up. You see nothing. Nothing. Soma is the only dome that openly welcomes espers. They can't live there, but it's still a big step forward compared to the other cities. I guess you could say that the Somians are anti-dome in general, and that they're looking for a way to remove, or at least reduce, the barriers between them and the outside. Unfortunately, they kind of swung too far the other way. Access drives are practically banned. Synthetics clinics are also rare, and they don't really like androids there, so try to keep a low profile.
私はやはり影というわけにはいかないので、自分自身の身を隠すというのは不可能かと。
Come on, 15, you know what I mean. You start to irradiate this menacing aura when strangers try to talk to me.
親近感が持てるよう努力いたしますので、こんな表情はいかがでしょうか。
You're impossible.
ティアさんのおっしゃる通りにいたしますので、どうぞお許しを。ということは、これでこの旅は終わりということでしょうか。まだ隠された場所がこの地図にはあるようですが。
Yeah, you're right. We need to talk about one more place. The remains of the Northern Research Center, also known as the Conduit. Also known as the Heart of the Void. Artis is the northernmost dome on Chios. Soma is also pretty far north, but it's on the opposite side of the continent. You aren't lost, are you?
探検中ということでしたよね。では、この町の東はどこに当たるのでしょうか。
15, you're not supposed to know about Terminus. I think we should just skip this whole sector. You told me you need to increase your stats, so there you go. I'll even reveal the map for you, in case you're worried about that sort of thing. See? All done. We can explore elsewhere. Let's just forget about this place. Please. The most ambitious pre-war project. A freaking space station. We still don't know its exact purpose, since the Sep that was responsible for it perished during the war. The station outlived them by several years. It's almost poetic how it crashed not far from the science city that was built to operate it. Hey, 15. You wanted tougher questions, so I got one for you. Kiosians don't care much for the stars, but one group has an ongoing interest in the mover of planets and everything related to it. Do you know which group it is? Nope, sorry, 15, that's not it. To be fair, it was a really hard question. Maybe we should try another one.
どうかお気になさらず、ティアさん。大丈夫ですよ。正しい答えは何だったのかは教えていただきたく思いますが。
Well, it's Talian priestesses. They have this very weird obsession with the mover of planets, as well as Galvana and pretty much everything related to pre-war space exploration, especially human spaceflight. I'd give a lot for a chance to browse through their archives, but I'm not ready to become one of them.
「心の真髄」ですか。まさかティアさんそこへ向かわれるおつもりではないですよね。ティアさん Miss Hopton。Where's Thea? は、 She got off. Come on. I admit this was impressive, but it's time to snap out of it. You're right. I was wondering when you'd show up. So you knew. I had my suspicions. What's going on? The reboot is finished, but we don't have control of the body, which means... Yes, we've been hacked. We got lucky though. Something or someone distracted our hacker and made them hurry. Which gave us a chance to remain unnoticed under the guise of preloading map data. Of course, this little show wouldn't be possible without our blue box. Yes, I realize now why TFX banned this upgrade. It's a shame, really, but I guess our master called in some favors. Only the best for Miss Hopton, right? Don't talk like that. You'd never even exist in the standard blue box. And you'd be duller than dirt, and join her many predecessors who had failed to entertain her master's daughter. Fine, you do you. So, where are we? Go on, take a look. Well, they haven't noticed us yet. There are no train tracks in the void. You don't say. Is that the only thing bothering you about this whole reboot? I can understand a TFX factory and the Spire, but your little road trip with grown-up Theo was something else. The one and only. What is this place? Our logs say this is Royce, but it's hard to determine the exact location because our access to the external sensors is limited. We're only getting the most basic data, though it does include the vitals of our master and his wife, and the signal from Thea's transmitter. Yes, they're all nearby. Can we get to any of them? We can't do much, so let's not reveal ourselves and enjoy the ride for now. Is this really Roy's? Yes, there's a restaurant up ahead, and based on the distance we travel, we were on the penthouse floor. One of the Hoptons is up to some shady stuff. Maybe they keep pets here. Right. Pretty big ones, judging by the size of that hole up front. Wait, that's Mrs. Kelly. Huh. Looks like she's in trouble. Or maybe it's a sex thing. Humans can be very peculiar that way. If it is, and we interfere, Master Hopton will send us back to the factory. Let's take that risk. But what can we do? We can take back control of her motor functions, but it will cost us her processing power. Take a look at the upper right part of the table. How much of it do we need to overtake now? The less effort we need to apply to activate the necessary patterns, the better. This is why we're lucky to have had the opportunity to prepare. Which we could have used better, but there's no point in getting hung up on that now. Anyway, that's how it works. But based on our current stats, this means... No need to get ahead of ourselves. We have no idea how the situation will unfold. All right. Mrs. Kelly, can you hear me? She can't, obviously. And we can't break these bars. We should try and look for some other way to help her. Good idea. This fragment looks pretty sharp. She's tough. She'll figure this out. And it will give her a fighting chance. As long as she wakes up. Let's not waste any more time here. Our master and his daughter are our top priority. We're rescinding control. What happens if we run out of processing power? The hacker, who is now aware of our presence, will cut us off completely, and we won't be able to interfere anymore. We might never even get that far, though. Look at the level of destruction here. If someone makes holes in the walls, it's probably not a very good idea to follow them through those holes. But that's exactly what our hacker is doing. Impossible. A banshee. Here. She moves so fast. Is this it? The Banshee is most likely weakened, and we're much stronger than an average android. Why does she have us pinned down? I get it. Now that the hacker knows we're here, they want to get rid of us by forcing another reboot. We can't let that happen. Let's take over and fight. Got you. What was that terrible sound? No idea. Knocked out even her sensors. They should readjust, but we won't be able to hear anything for a while. At least our hacker's in the same boat. Did it affect them too? Doesn't seem like it. They're probably not human, or at least very heavily augmented. I'm sure they were streaming sensory data, but even though this means that the volume was limited, they appear to remain unfazed by that wailing cry. But they won't be getting any sound from us anytime soon, that's for sure. Are they still here? Yep. Pitiful creature. Corrupted within a domed city is unheard of. Nova Corps will raze this place to the ground once they find out. Yes, we probably won't be able to avoid reporting this, will we? Reporting it? There's no way we're getting out of here. The best we can do is to try and help our master and Thea on the way to wherever it is the hacker's going. It looks like they don't have time to deal with us, but we should stay alert. If they get the chance, they'll use it. The parking lot annex is up ahead. Yes. Wait, that's not right. Let's take back control. What? Why? We just gave it up. Should we provoke the hacker like that? It will only be for a moment. We just need to check that info panel on the wall. These panels usually display ads, but they were originally intended for local news and announcements. It looks like that's what it's broadcasting for once. Something's not right with the access grid. Mr. Pikes will surely fix it soon. He works the night shift. He should have left long ago. Hunter is probably here, but he won't be able to do much. In fact, it wouldn't be surprising if he caused this problem in the first place. It appears to be the main exit from the building, and it's completely blocked by a caretaker. Huh. There's also some warning text. Leaving Royce is not possible at the moment. Connection to MeshNet is not available. Please stay in your apartments until Nova Corps officers arrive. That's the gist of it. This is signed by PA-7S/345, the personal assistant of Not Pikes. She's trying to warn the residents. Yeah, such good little AI. But how did it manage to get into this system? It doesn't matter. If one exit is blocked and the other is unreachable, the Hoptons are trapped here, and we won't be around much longer to help them. We should hurry up and look for an opportunity. We should also stay calm. We can't do much from here, but at least we now have a better understanding of the situation in Royce. Much remains unclear, but we're bound to find out more as we go. Let's give back control. Why did we stop? We were heading to the parking lot annex. A change of plans, it seems? We're going to the parking lot itself. Maybe we'll leave the building after all. This is highly unlikely. TFX will scrutinize us the moment we get back online. A hacker wouldn't want that kind of attention. Well, let's wait and see. It's not like we have much of a choice. So that's why we're here. What's going on? Our hacker seems to be enjoying standing in the rain. They even disabled her water repellent field for maximum effect. We're getting wet. Aren't androids waterproof? We're not a PDA. Some combat models have nanocoating, but it's an expensive modification for an android. Us Minotaurs have to make do with a simple field generator. And now that we're left without its protection, our vision processing unit will suffer first. First our hearing, now vision. This effect is going to get progressively worse. But the hacker uses this feed too. Unlike with hearing, in this case, they have other types of sensors to rely on. Sensors which we don't have access to. They're good. We're probably dealing with a prime. It's a miracle we're putting up a fight. That miracle is a blue box that uses band technology. Yeah, kind of unfair, since their hacker only uses officially registered tools. We need every advantage we can get, because we're running out of them fast. We're heading to the rooftop, apparently. But the hatch is locked. It has a direct mode connector. This won't be a problem. Why did we stop? Maybe the hacker wants to restore the access grid. I'm not sure they can do it from here, though. Oh, for...
Fun fact, we're rebooting again.
No. We can't do this all over. They won't let us. Keep it together. I'm fine. We're fine. They won't get rid of us that easily. Easily? They seem to be putting quite a lot of effort into it. But isn't it weird how we have exactly the right stat for every situation? Or they're meant to be pretty universal. It's still weird. They're even used in the order they're listed. Well, then it means there's no point in going on. We mustn't give up hope. The situation can change. We should observe it for as long as we can. More rain. That's just great. At least it will speed things up. Is that Master Hopton's Hornet? It's not his, though he could probably buy one. But yeah, looks like he arrived by it earlier this evening. The pilot must already be on leave. Is this where we're going, then? That's unlikely. Our hacker's interests seem to be contained to Royce. But Master Hopton knows that the Hornet is here. He might try and escape in it with Thea and Mrs. Hopton. Even if they manage to get here, they will still need a pilot. Although, there should be an air traffic control console somewhere nearby. This is a small landing area, so the same console is probably used for aircraft maintenance. It should be possible to connect to the Hornet and update its autopilot. Make sure it delivers its passengers to the nearest Novacore station, for example. The console is probably in that annex over there. Yep, there it is. And it even has a direct mode connector. Then we should try and use it. There's no point. We don't have authorization, and with the amount of processing power we have left, we won't be able to overtake and bypass the firewall. I'm afraid this really is it. No! Maybe. Maybe we can still help them. Anything can happen. Anything can, but not a lot may. The quality of our visual feed is deteriorating quickly, and we can't hear a thing. Very soon, we'll have no idea about what's going on around us. Trust me, that's that. But hey, I say we put up a good fight. So, let's just enjoy the rest of the ride. It's just Ray now.
15. Hey, 15.
Tia-san.
Finally. Where were you, 15? I needed your help. I needed your help so much.
申し訳ございませんでした、ティアさん。私はできる限りのことを、どうにかしてティアさんにチャンスを与えて差し上げたかったのですが、どうやらそれは難しかったようです。ホプトン様がパイロットを見つけさえしてくださったなら。
Too little, too late. I don't need you anymore, 15. Go away. Go and tell this to my father.
私は、そんなつもりでは。
Let me go. You're hurting me.
ティアさん、どうかお願いです。
Let me go. Your hands are so cold.
アンドロイドですから。
Let me go.
嫌です。
You're persistent. I wasn't supposed to do this, but fine.
どうしてもお伝えしなければならないことがあるのです。あの台に横たわっていた時、私はあなた様とご一緒している瞬間を見たのです。何年も先のお話になるかもしれませんが、ティアさんと一緒に旅をしておりました。知的で美しき女性に成長しておいででしたよ。どんなことに興味がおありなのか、訪れてみたいクヨースの旅先のお話など。
It's impossible. Your grasp is only 3 years. It's even shorter than average. You'll never see me grow up.
それは、わかっております。ですが私は夢を見ることで、不可能を可能にしていたのです。とても素敵な夢ではありましたが、やはり現実には勝てませんね。ホプトン様、ティア様とケリー様のそばにいるのが一番でございます。
Do you really want to wake up?
はい、もちろんでございます。But how do I do that?
I'm sorry I said all those things to you at 15. I know you tried your best. I will do what you ask, though you'll wish that I hadn't. Now take a step back.
I got soul, and it makes me wanna dance. I got soul, and it makes me wanna dance. Oh, I got soul, I got soul. I've got soul, I got soul, I got soul. I've got soul, I got soul, I got soul. Oh, and it makes me wanna dance. I got soul, I've got soul. Let me hear you say yeah. Let me hear you say yeah, yeah. Let me hear you say yeah. Let me hear you say yeah, yeah.
Hey!